Hi, my name is Emanuel. I'm the founder of Riff Care. So I had the idea to start Riff Care a few years ago when I actually had to go through something in my life where I got rid of all of my personal care products and replaced them with clean products. Now, the reason was I was in Paris during the Notre Dame fire and I ended up getting lead poisoning, which led to hormone imbalance. I went to a doctor. I was telling them all my symptoms and they tested my hormones and I was shocked. And one of the first things the doctor told me was to get rid of everything in my cabinet, in my pantry, my makeup, the clothing I was wearing. So it was definitely a holistic doctor. And I went ahead and did that. And so I replaced everything and I got some organic period care. And I just realized that there was really nothing that fit my values and that was really super comfortable. And that's why I got the idea to start Riff. Riff is the first company in the world to make pads and period products out of hemp fiber. So we mix hemp fiber with regenerative organic cotton to make our super comfortable, super luxurious, antibacterial and antimicrobial pads. So a lot of people don't actually know this, but women take in on average 160 chemicals a day through their personal care. So from period products to makeup to perfume, cleaning products, everything we use can actually be toxic if we're not paying attention. And so we planned on making a brand that was completely non-hormone disrupting by using plant-based ingredients. Another really staggering number that we realized when we're making this product is that 170 billion. That's the average number of nanoplastics women actually get into their uterus every time they use a synthetic period product. So whether that's a tampon by Kotex or a pad by Always, a lot of these brands are actually made with synthetic products. You look at them and you think they're made out of cotton, but they're actually made out of polyester and PPE. And that's actually the reason we're also having a shortage of tampons and pads, because we've lost about half the cotton farms in the past decade, which is another shocking factor. And so a lot of these that have been made from things like PPE, which of course we lost a lot of in the pandemic because they're also used for things like masks. And a lot of the brands that were made with just regular conventional cotton, we're having shortages of, and they're becoming more and more expensive. And then the last number that we thought was a really shocking fact is that 1 in 5 women are actually dealing with hormone imbalance. So from PCOS to ovarian cysts, infertility, there's a lot of women who are actually dealing with these problems today. And so our solution is Riff, which is full cycle care. We launched about 5 months ago with our first product, which is our pads that were made out of hemp fiber, 100% plant-based and biodegradable. They actually biodegrade within 90 days, which is very exciting. And carbon neutral by design, and also just 100% better for you. Our pads are also antimicrobial, antibacterial because we use hemp fiber. We just got those tests back. And also full cycle care, we plan on making supplements. So instead of using a lot of these things that women would typically be using that are hormone disrupting for pain, PMS, we plan on using traditional Chinese medicine and herbs to deal with. And we know that the market is absolutely ready for this. The Gen Z consumer is definitely a wellness consumer. They're not trusting any of the big brands that have been selling things to their parents and their grandparents. They're trying to look for brands who speak their values, who are transparent, who are better for the environment, and who are committed to making non-toxic products. And we actually know that Gen Z and Millennial would actually pay more, or they'll pay a premium for a product that performs just as well and has the values that they're looking for. Another fact that we realized when we were thinking about making full cycle care is that more than 50% of women who actually use birth control are using birth control to manage pain, acne, and hormone imbalance. And so we're not really dealing with the root cause, right? And so we want to make a product that really helps women to deal with the root cause and balance their hormone by using organic ingredients. And so we know that this is a crowded space in period care, but there's no one who's exactly doing what Riff is doing. So like I said, we're the first brand in the world to make period products out of hemp fiber commercially. There's a few other companies that are trying to do this, but they're still in product development. We're biodegradable. We're the only brand that can also claim that they're made out of upcycled fiber, 100% organic. We're actually carbon neutral. So instead of offsetting and buying carbon products, when we grow our products with hemp, we're actually making the earth better and the soil better and sequestering carbon as we make our product. So we're actually the only brand that's making full cycle wellness. So from period products to supplements that can help with other problems that you might have during your cycle, that's what Riff plans on doing. And we know that this is a huge market opportunity. The overall menstrual care product market is about 40 billion. And so organic period care sits at about 10% of that at $3.4 billion. And this market is growing. It's actually growing faster than the overall market, the natural market. And we also know that sexual health supplements are a huge opportunity right now. I think a lot of the supplements that have been focused around women have been around either fertility or around menopause, but reproductive health is really, as soon as we start our period to, any time in our life. And so women from the age of 18 to 40 have been kind of left out of this conversation. And so we see this as a huge emerging market for period care, for pain and hormone balance. And so we do have a big vision for this company, from menstruation to motherhood and everything that comes in the middle as far as reproductive health Riff wants to tackle. So our first product that we launched this year was our hemp fiber pads. And later on this year, we're actually going to be releasing tampons. We are currently in product development of our supplements. We're producing one supplement for next year, which is specifically for PMS and period pain. So right now we have in market our pads, which we launched 5 months ago. So we produce our fiber actually in the Middle East, and then it's sent to China. We're producing right now in China, but since we've started this project, we actually have bids from multiple countries. So we're producing our tampons with a factory in Spain. We've also had bids to make our fiber as well as our product in Canada. We see our margins can actually come down as we scale. We're also not producing at scale yet. We just produced about 30,000 boxes this time, but in our next run, our margins are actually going to go up by about 5%, which is very exciting. And also we are fully focused on sexual wellness and reproductive health. So we also have our play oil, and also launching next year, our leak-proof underwear. Our supplements are slated to launch later in 2023. So our traction, we actually just hit 5,000 boxes sold, which is very exciting. We've done $65,000 in revenue so far. We're in 45 retailers. We launched in July with our first retailer, which was Erewhon. And so since then, we've been talking to more stores in Southern California. We plan on moving really up the West Coast first for our start. We feel like this is our customer, and also retailers are just very open to getting Riff in. We're also growing 20% month over month. We're selling right now on Amazon and our own direct-to-consumer channel, which is our website. And something we're also proud of is that we have over 1 million views on the hashtag RiffCare on TikTok and Instagram. And also for direct to consumer. So we plan on being 50% retail, 50% direct to consumer. I think the great thing our product is that we can have a subscription model very easily. Women need this product every single month. So right now, most of our direct to consumer sales are actually coming from Amazon, but we do plan on rebuilding our website, starting to micro spend across multiple channels, whether that's Google or Instagram, and really beefing up our affiliate program. We don't really see that many other period companies using influencers in a way to educate about sexual health. And so that's where we've been driving a bulk of our sales right now. So continuing on with that and making our affiliate program even larger. Also collaborating with some sexual wellness educators and some gynecologists to really drive online sales and to make Riff a place that people come for education about sexual health. And so from the retail sales that we have now, we can really see how we can take this model and kind of implement it into other chains and into larger retailers. Right now, we are in about 45 stores. We've been talking to some larger chains, especially Kroger and different chains in the Pacific Northwest, in Washington and Oregon. Our average retailer does about $220 every month, which doesn't seem like a lot. But if we did that much, and let's say we went to another store like a CVS or even just regionally launched into Target, that could be up to $200,000 a month in revenue. So we definitely want to grow in retail because I think also this is a product that people need to see. It's something that's new. It's something that's different. And when retailers have been trusting us, we found that, the customer starts to trust us. We've actually been number one at Erewhon since month 2. And so we're number 1 in period care. And we plan on taking that and trying to execute it in all of our other retailers that we're getting into, which are mostly natural product retailers. And then we're raising $1.5 million. So far we've raised $100,000 via friends and family. We did a Kickstarter, which we successfully funded. We've also had some angel investors. And really we're raising this money because we want to redo our website, really focus on getting those subscription customers. Also retail expansion. We should be hiring more brokers for California, the Pacific Northwest, and also just to help manage all these retail partnerships and these retail relationships that we plan on opening. Planning on spending some money, of course, on marketing. A lot of these are going to be like our collaborations with Tia Health, for example, We're going to be actually providing products to all of their clinics, which is very exciting, but that does come with some marketing spend. And then also trade spend in our retailers. So whether it's in-store advertising, newsletters, coupons, we do plan on putting some of that money also towards retail spend. So expected revenue. So for this year, we plan on making $160,000. So that's from our retail partners and also direct to consumer. We're not launching B2B this year, but next year we plan on focusing on our retailers, whether that's gynecology offices, schools, universities, companies. A bulk of our revenue next year, I believe, will be coming from retail, just from some of the conversations we've been having so far, and also redoing our website and focusing on direct to consumer, whether that's our own website or also Amazon. So we have an amazing team. From our first check to getting our prototype was about 2 months. And then 8 months later, we're in retail. So our team works extremely quickly, very capital efficient. I myself came from marketing and influencer management. I was also a creative producer. So I was helping brands tell their sustainability stories, whether it was Nike or Timberland. Rebecca Caputo, who's my co-founder, actually came from research, and she's a biologist. So she helps us with everything FDA, which is how we got our product approved and pushed through so quickly, to ESG compliance. We have an amazing creative director. So if you haven't checked out our website or socials, everything look and feel of the brand comes from Ellie. Our advisors come from, the family that started 7th Generation. We're now in Pharrell Williams' Black Ambition program, which has been helping us really accelerate the vision and know how to grow our team from where we are now to $5 million and then beyond. And also some founders that also worked in consumer products who've been helping us a lot with retail strategy. So we really do feel like we have an amazing team right now. We're also growing our board of, doctors and holistic medicine practitioners to really help us push our vision forward. I just want to thank everybody so much for their time and this opportunity to share what Riff is doing. If you have any more questions, I'd love to know. Also, you can check out more of what we're doing at Riff Care on Instagram and TikTok. Thanks so much.
Well, welcome, Val and Rebecca. Hi.
Hello.
Thank you for joining the Gentler, Kinder Shark Tank, and congratulations on your retail placement at Erewhon. That's
Thanks
amazing.
So much. It's nice to be here. It's kind of weird, but I like it.
Well, we're going to turn it over to our judges for their clarifying questions. And I'd like to start with Lorena, whose company Ariel Investments launched Project Black, which aims to scale sustainable minority-owned businesses to serve suppliers of choice to Fortune 500 companies. So I want to start with you.
Okay, thank you. It was a wonderful presentation. I wanted to first just say congratulations. It sounds like you have a really great product, a great team, and a lot of initial traction with your retailers, which is wonderful to see. I know I personally would love to be a customer. But some questions that I had specifically because you are, you're in a really exciting stage of growth. You're projecting, pretty strong hockey stick, as we call it, of growth as you go forward. And so one of the questions that I would have as a potential investor would be around, how much visibility do you have into that? So as you look at where you are right now with contracts that you have kind of in the pipeline, how much of your, 18-ish million of revenue kind of next year, right? Do you already have kind of in that you have a lot of confidence in? How much of it, is kind of in that next tranche of we started conversations, but we're not totally sure. And then, how much is the stuff that, we still need to go find, but, we think that we would have a, really good chance of doing that, with that, with the activities that we have kind of already ongoing.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for the question. So as far as the revenue for next year, we projected $3 million in retail revenue, and that's sell-through. So about wholesale, where it's about 40% less than that. And then $1.2 million in our direct-to-consumer revenue, and that includes Amazon as well as our website. So far on Amazon, I think we've been growing like 20% month over month. So we put that, Rebecca's the data scientist, but we put all these things into graphs as far as the rate that we've been growing. And that's how we got those numbers. And it's also based on the contracts we have. So we just signed with UNFI. We just signed with another large chain that's in California. We just started, two actually large chains that are in Southern California. And we're also backing this up with SPINS data. So SPINS is taking all the information from the natural product stores as well as the multi-outlet stores like the Albertsons, the Krogers, And we can see that I think in 2022 alone, the sell-through of organic period products was 45% higher than the year before, which is insane. So more of these large grocery stores that are completely untapped even, like for us, we're seeing some of the Asian markets and some of the Latino markets that I grew up shopping in are completely untapped. They don't even offer organic period care. So we're starting to have these conversations and we're showing them the data that we're getting from Nielsen IQ and Spins, and they're seeing, okay, this is our opportunity to actually take in a brand like this and take a chance because we're missing out on money if we don't.
Well, I'll just say it is great that you're leveraging that, kind of that market data, right? Because I think that does help you to feel like you can make better informed decisions. And that was one of the other things I was kind of wondering too, as you think about how you're drawing your projections, how much you're getting from buyers that give you a good sense of what you should be expecting in a given store, or, leveraging things like that kind of market data that helps you to get a better sense of, a Sprouts might not be the same as an Erewhon, but is that how does that actually compare in terms of like what you could expect from a monthly, per store basis? So that's great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Great question. Richard, your portfolio at Double Impact focuses on social good and spaces like health and wellness. Curious to hear your clarifying questions for Val and Rebecca.
Of course. And Val, thank you so much for the awesome presentation. I think like Lorena, I was really impressed. For me, I think it all stems from, who's the person behind the vision, what's their story for this. And, you came across as extremely authentic, really compelling. And just, this seems like an idea that is unique to you given your past experiences. So just kind of wanted to start by applauding you on finding this niche and really going after it as an entrepreneur. That's really impressive. I think for me, the two questions I have, and it's really one, are somewhat linked, right? If you think about, performance and price of the product that you have, obviously, as you mentioned, consumers are willing to pay up, if the performance is there. But at the same time, as the space becomes increasingly competitive, you have to provide the performance and also, continue to be competitive on price. And if you think about some of the alternatives that are currently being offered, I imagine they are probably fairly less priced than you are, fairly lower priced than you are. And so the question is, from a performance standpoint, do you have any data that shows how your performance sort of stacks up against some of the more traditional offerings out there? And then sort of like following on from that, it's sort of like a unit economics question. How much margin do you have within your current cost structure to allow for some downward pricing pressure as the, competition heats up in the space and, customers start to look for, a combination of, better performance at a lower price?
Yeah, definitely. So I can answer to the question about margins, then I'll have Rebecca answer the question about kind of like how our product is different, because we finally just got some lab tests back and that's extremely exciting. But as far as the product price, we do have a 75% margin if we're at scale. And so we're actually $2 lower than Cora. We're $2 lower than Lola. These are, I'd say, the bigger period care brands. NaturCare, we're not at their price yet, but they produce their own products. So I think it's a completely different market, and their product is honestly not the most comfortable organic period care. Like that's well known with everybody who's used it. So I think we have the upper leg there. But also I mentioned in the beginning of the presentation that the price of cotton has gone up and also the cotton production has gone down. So we've lost half the cotton farms in the world in the past decade. So the price for hemp, when we scale, it's actually cheaper than the price of organic cotton. And so that's where we see our competitive advantage, because that margin hopefully can stay around that. And we don't have to raise our price, especially as there's, more people doing like CBD concrete hemp concrete and CBD oil and all these other products made of hemp. But there is this excess fiber. And so it's better for the farmers because we can buy it from them and we can process it. And it's also better for our margins because we're basically using product that used to be waste.
Yeah. So like the other kind of big deal about hemp is that it grows naturally without pesticides. It's naturally antimicrobial, antifungal. And so this helps a lot with like odor and just like lessens infection. And so we just got this lab test back that compared conventional products to hemp-based period products, and hemp performed better. And so we're seeing alignment with a lot of like, hospitals and, OBGYN clinics to kind of bring a product that is performing better for their patients. So that's kind of like new because it just came out, but we really see like this company is like very recession proof, right? It's a necessity item, it's essential, and it's also built for the future, right? To incorporate the lack of like cotton farms and using a regenerative source that's also healing the soil. So it's like there's all of these factors. And I think as consumers become more aware of the benefits of regenerative farming and agriculture, that's going to be the next shift, right? It's going to go beyond sustainable.
Yeah. I think those are both, really great answers, and exciting what some of the, R&D is proving out. Remind me, how much did you have of the $1.5 million you're looking to raise? Are you dedicating a good chunk of that to continued R&D studies and the likes? Because, I think for me, the performance aspect of this is going to be just, absolutely critical. And so making sure you're dedicating enough money to continue to push the edge on research and performance of the product, I think is what's really going to make the difference here. So how do you guys think about that in terms of ask and dollars towards research and development of the product?
Yeah, definitely. So a lot of what we're doing right now is, so we have our manufacturer, which is in China, and we chose to go with them because they were willing to do our order quantity minimums, honestly. But since we started the project, we've had bids now from companies in Canada, people who want to do this in South America. So there's a lot of people who can do something like this for us, and they all produce something a little bit different. The weight that we spin our fiber at right now is perfect for absorption. We're also looking into, of course, making our product better, making the absorption better. We're working with a biotech company on making a super absorbent polymer to make our pads more absorbent. So there's a lot of companies that we could work with to make this product even better. And I also mentioned there's other companies who've been trying to do this, but they haven't gotten to market with it. We were like, look, the product is not perfect, but when compared to the average Rael or Cora or Lola, people are saying it's far more comfortable. The product feels like you're wearing material rather than cotton, like in your underwear, just to be honest. So there's a huge difference in terms of the feelings, and you can look at some of the reviews that we have on Amazon or some of the reviews on our website. But there are definitely ways that we could improve it and make it like beyond any experience that women have, in the past, because there are negative connotations with many period products. Most of them are very uncomfortable.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm curious how many folks are on your website right now trying to buy the next box. That's all the time we have for questions, but I do want to hear from all the judges on their advice and any guidance from what you heard today. And we'll go ahead and start with Lorena and Richard.
Okay. Well, so I guess the biggest suggestion I would make is, because I think you do have a lot of proof points, right, around this product, which is wonderful. And so I would really suggest, especially as you're going forward, to make sure that you are not shy about mentioning some of the real facts behind advantages of hemp relative to cotton, right? Being able to really, highlight some of those things. Like, we didn't even talk about the fact that like water usage, right, is remarkably different between cotton and hemp. And so just making sure that you're taking advantage of all of the benefits that you can celebrate for this product. In addition to you're talking about what you have as a price advantage, because I think those are the types of things that are going to make an investor say, this is a no-brainer for me.
Thank you.
Yep. Totally agree. I think the only thing I'd add to that is we didn't really get into the discussion of, valuation. So obviously one thing that any investor is going to ask is, you're raising $1.5 million at what valuation, and how are you getting there? And how is that supported by the growth plan that you've laid out ahead of you? So, as you think about taking this to the next step, it's really, bringing everything about the idea, everything about the financial projection, and sort of like tying it up into this nice little number and valuation that makes it really easy for an investor to make a decision.
Thank you.
Thanks. Tasha, any advice?
Well, first of all, I want to say a wonderful presentation, and I'm looking forward to trying your products as well. I would recommend thinking about the manufacturing. I had a question about that in regards to what is your profit over cost. And I know you're looking at various manufacturing locations and distribution centers to help you. Keep that in mind, because I know you want to make the most profit, but you also want to have a quality product. So I think it's great that you're interviewing various places or countries, including, I hope, the U.S., to manufacture your product. But I think you guys are on the right track, and I'm looking forward to seeing more. I'm going to really go out there and look on Amazon and check out your product. So thank you.
Thank you.
Steve.
I don't think I've ever been last in one of these pitch contests.
They said everything.
So it's first, fantastic presentation. I think you You brought home a lot of the things that, investors like to hear, and I'm primarily, invest with debt. But you're probably in the right state for taking a loan. There's so many great incentives in California. Make sure you look for them. Reach out to a community development financial institution. They'll do some, kind of pre-seed investment before you get a big equity round. Investors like to see who else believes in you. I think you have something people would believe in. But you said something I wanted to really comment on as an influencer. Use that, I call it the TikTok mafia to, come up with a subscription, app where you're, getting college students and things of that nature. And I'm thinking of one of the most successful products on, the regular Shark Tank is Bombas socks. and they've basically been able to attract all kind of people within that TikTok mafia to go out and kind of spread the reason why their product is superior over somebody else's. And you look like astute marketers, but you really kind of got on here. You talked about production and everything like that, and really didn't go into details on the sales. And, I'm a lender, so I always want to know how you going to sell it and make some money so you can pay these bills back, because that's, the investors want to know the same thing too. But it's really, really important to drive home that I'm going to sell it. This is my distribution channel, and this channel, 20% is going to be high school students who are socially conscious. Others going to be CVS. You actually sell more with your TikTok mafia, your social media mafia, than you would with CVS, because as they mature, they'll go to CVS. But right now, they'll get a subscription with you, and they'll have you for the next 10 years. So drive the marketing strategy next time you get this opportunity. But great job overall.
Thank you.
Thank you. Steve, you were last, but you really brought that home with the social media mafia. Thank you for that.
It was part of her presentation. So, once she said it, I was like, well, give me more. I was hanging on my seat.
Oh, we love TikTok.
Yeah.
We put our affiliate link on Amazon or on our TikTok, so it converts sales better. So it works out pretty well.
Get an app. Get an app, connect it to the app, share the experience. I'm not a user of the product, but I'm pretty sure it'll work with the audience you're trying to drive.
And a discount promo code. When you click on it, it takes you right there.
There you go.
First purchase. I use it all the time on TikTok. So.
And by the way, I'd say, obviously you guys, as you look for, partners in retail, just be sort of thoughtful about who you let carry your product and at what point in time. Just because you don't want to dilute some of the authenticity, I think that's there right now too early on, right? So, keep, quality over quantity, at least early on. And once you have the brand and the following and all that kind of good stuff, then you can sort of open the floodgates, right? So.
Yeah. Thank you.
Such great feedback from our judges. Thank you all. And Val and Rebecca, any final words you want to share?
Thank you so much for having us. This has all been great. Rebecca's been taking full notes so we can go over it later and edit our deck again. So yeah.
Fantastic. Well, we forgot to remind the audience, yes, please take notes. There's a lot of great gems that are being handed out here. And audience members, please also include your comments and your reactions in the chat. And I'm sure Rebecca and Val and the judges will also have a chance to look at that later. So thank you all again. That concludes our first pitch. Val and Rebecca, congrats once again on all your successes in such a short amount of time. We're so glad to have you here and for you to be part of the ICIC community. All right. Thank you. So we will be back shortly for the second pitch. Stay tuned.